All right, guys, how's it going? It's Jewel Tolentino here, and we're back with another interview for the whole Q4 series strategies, and I have here Fernando today. So we're going to be chatting with him. If you guys have any questions, Auret is behind the scenes as usual. You guys can put them in the live chat, and I'll get those questions to Fernando. So let's start it off. And Fernando, let us know who you are and how you got started with merch.
Well, hello. Thank you, Joe, for having me here. Well, I started merch kind of late, probably. Well, not really late. I am an Amazon FBA seller, and Amazon invited everybody who was an FBA around October 2015 or something like that. I didn't want to jump in. I have a background on on legal and stuff like that, so I was like, it's gonna be a lot of legalities, intellectual property, and stuff like that. So I didn't want to at the moment. And also, I had a very bad luck with Teespring in 2013. So I had like bad taste in my mouth about that. And I didn't really understand what merch by Amazon was going to be. So I decided that I wasn't going to. And then a lot of people who jumped in the wagon, in October, that had no idea what they were doing. Friends of mine that were FBA sellers. They made a nice amount of money doing that, and so I had a mastermind. It was three of my friends that now I call friends, that we felt like, man, we made a mistake. So we applied right away, and at the time it wasn't immediate anymore. So I ended up getting an account around April 2016. So I missed all Christmas, all the first Valentine's, and I missed pretty much Mother's Day, because at the time I got in, Mother's Day was like, right around the corner. So by this time, everybody who started now were tiers 500 or better. They were doing great because they had no competition. So when I started, it just became an obsession. And little by little, my business is switching from having my own FBA, my eBay stores, where I would sell my expertise is toys and other products, is going little by little, to print on demand. And the risks are minimum. Once you understand copyright, intellectual properties, and all that stuff, it's so easy, and here we are now.
Crazy. Yeah, that's kind of similar. I was also doing like Amazon, FBA, Craigslist, eBay. Selling collectibles on eBay was really fun for me. But then, yeah, slowly, it's now becoming more merch by Amazon and print on demand. Everything's like slowly moving towards that area, because you don't have to do like shipping or anything like that, which I thought was really cool.
Yes, it's giving us back some time that especially on eBay, it was just time consuming, to have here all my shipping supplies and dealing with customer service. Now I don't have to deal with that. Even on print on demand, even though I sell in other platforms, I outsource that portion where they ship for me, and I don't have to worry about a lot of stuff that I used to. So it's a lot better.
Awesome. All right, so a couple of questions here that I always ask every guest here. What tier are you on?
I'm in tier 2, 2K. I should have in tier 2-4, but I didn't have my 80% filled up. When they tier up people last week, I should have, but I didn't, and I'm fine. I wasn't gonna get to 4,000 live products anyways, so I'm like, yeah, I'll do it after Christmas. But I'm in that tier right now.
Crazy. And do you have a Q4 strategy now that we're getting into the whole Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas? Do you have a strategy that you're implementing right now?
Well, I usually follow the start low, then raise your price, and then find the market value for your product, and then reprice. Little by little now that I don't expect any tier ups or anything like that, I'm starting little by little to change every single one on my shirts now to the price where I think they're gonna be on Q4, because it makes no sense anymore, to sell them for $11.99 or whatever, if I am not gonna get tiered up, especially since I already have the sales to get tiered up. So right now I'm changing everything. And honestly, I don't recommend right now anybody doing that, because we go with last year, was what, around November, mid-November, what they didn't allow us to edit anymore. and it was really bad for anybody who was doing that, repricing deal. So right now I just began uploading my Christmas shirts. I already finished with my Thanksgiving, anything having to do with Black Friday, all that stuff. I already finished. Right now I'm going heavy on Christmas, and by next week I plan to do my New Year's. Last year I had about 10 different designs for New Year's that I was never able to upload because they froze uploading. So I think right now I'm just gonna go with the 60-day safe window, and I'm gonna upload them right now because we don't know. I mean, right now we are probably 3 times as many sellers on merch by Amazon that we were last year. So we have no idea what they plan to do tomorrow to do that. This year, I don't intend to go. When I say Christmas, I mean things that I think that would sell well for family members. I am not going anything heavy. Actually, I don't even have a single Santa Claus, any single reindeer, any single elf shirt. I am not wasting my time on those myself. I think there are just too many. My designs, as yours probably are, we have them from people like Upwork, stuff like that. So we don't pay prime price for those. So they are more texty, stuff like that. So, and basic graphics. So when you go and compete with 1,000 Santa Claus shirts, it's got to be something that is gotta bring attention to people. It's gonna be something unique to be able to say this is gonna be a winner. And I don't think my designer has something that he's gonna come with a Santa Claus to have a home run. So I'm focusing on other stuff, the Christmas message for grandma, the Christmas message from grandpa, stuff like that, things that are gonna resonate more, and I like to think of, on print. I mean, you follow me, you probably have heard me this so many times, but to me, a T-shirt is more like a Hallmark card of 2017. It's the place where you gotta put the message, and is also a gift, so people don't have to buy those Christmas card anymore. They just buy it. The card is already printed on your shirt. So that's what I am more focusing on right now. That's my strategy for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Interesting. So you're not doing the traditional icons of Christmas like the elves, Santa Claus, candy canes, things like that. You're gearing it more, you're targeting, like, let's say the grandmother or the grandfather or something like that for Christmas.
Yes, I mean, I assume, for me to get one of those designs, I have to invest a lot more. And this is a try and error. You have no idea if they're going to be home runs or not. So to me, I can get my designer to scale me, get me 10, 15 different designs with the same phrase, with going, with the different niches, and I can get it for way cheaper. But I can increase my opportunity to get a sale. That if I was to go with a typical Santa Claus shirt, that I mean, how many shirts can you create of dabbing Christmas? There are just too many. I mean, how many reindeers can you actually do? I mean, how many combinations of those? And it's the same thing that happened right now in Halloween. Anybody who tells you that they did great with the witches, vampires, stuff like that is probably lying. The ones that did great with Halloween was the ones that created costumes. T-shirt that were for kind of costumes, the lifesaver guy, the nurse, the paramedics, all that stuff that were this is my Halloween shirt. Those are the guys who actually had home runs on Halloween, not the ones that were focusing on the typical jack-o'-lanterns and stuff like that. There are just too many, and they're selling them too cheap because there's just too much competition. So I didn't want to.
Yeah, that was the same with us. We did a bunch of Halloween shirts, and we found that the ones that sold, that even made it through, were the ones that were like completely different. They were like mixed up with Halloween and something else that no one else was doing. So those are the ones that did well. Yeah, the typical Halloween ones, like, it was too crazy. We're like, whoa, there's a lot of people doing all this stuff. We got to be so different right now. That's kind of, it's a little bit changing. Like, merch by Amazon's changing a little. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of shirts. You gotta think differently, I find now. So where do you get ideas from?
As everybody used to use Merch Informer, but I don't use it anymore. I think it's coming to a point that everybody's using it. and it's now you need to start thinking outside the box. So I usually go to Reddit, and I find in the funny section of Reddit, I usually go for phrases that people are throwing there, and then I search if there's something related to. I tend to go look for memes. They're more spontaneous, and then I find for ways for them to become, shirts. I use a lot of Pinterest. Just a week or so ago, they used to tell you how many pins a shirt had got, and now they're kind of like reshaping the platform where they're not showing the number of pins. But before, it was very easy because you could say, okay, this shirt has 31,000 pins. You didn't have to search if that shirt was hot. It was hot. It was 31,000 pins. So I will work something around that, and I will, and I will tell my designers, create me something, that is unique on that way, and we will come with some, and some were home runs, and some were used complete waste of money. But I decided that we had better chances by playing blind than by going with the data, because the data was too available to people now, where it was being abused, and it was actually, in my opinion, is kind of not helping scale that product.
Okay. And have you always outsourced your designs? Do you create designs yourself?
I do some make merch. For example, if I had to do 40 uploads and I only get, 20 designs or 15 designs today from my designer, I gotta go and say, okay, I have 15. Some of these are gonna work well, in Bella or whatever the brand is today, and Ambil. Some are not gonna work in Bella because there's probably targeted to the bikers or the mechanics, and they're not gonna look for fitted shirts because they are like me. They're robust men. So we don't buy. I don't want to waste my slot in every single one of my designs on premium shirts. So sometimes if I get 15 shirts, I can probably create, about 20, 25 different, slots. So I have to find 15. So I use make merch sometimes to do it. Sometimes I go on Photoshop if I have the time and stuff like that. I have to accept I am a horrible designer. When I started, I used to do it, and my font color combination was not attractive. I don't have that eye like people with artistic mentality has, where they said, oh yeah, this font looks gorgeous with this color and this background and stuff like that. My designs were pretty bad, unless they were drawings. I can draw, so I would do something in my Wacom, and I could do something like that, but it was too time consuming. When you value your time, let's say I value my time at $50 an hour, and a shirt is taking me an hour and a half to do, that shirt cost me $75 to produce. So it's too expensive of a design. So I decided that it was better to outsource my work, and I no longer design unless I have to meet some quotas. Then I go to make merch, and I already have a bunch of templates done, because a lot of people don't know you can save your templates on make merch. I have them in an Excel spreadsheet, so I have a lot of scalable designs. Like, I am so cool because I'm I'm an engineer. Whatever, I go and open this template again, and I can change the words, and then I have a bunch of PNGs that I can create 10 PNGs in 10, 15 minutes.
And what is make merch for those people watching who don't know?
Make merch is a platform where you can design online. It has a cost. It's like I think it's $29.99 a month, but you can create unlimited designs. They give you fonts, they give you art, they give you everything you need. Distressing and stuff like that. You can upload your own designs. They're coming with a deal that you will be able to use your own fonts, and it's coming probably in a week or two. I find it. Some people claim that it's expensive, but to me, when we are used to paying $5 per design or $3 per design of whoever you're using. If I can make 100 of those a month, or $30 a month, that's too way cheap. That's like 30 cents per design. So, but you are in tier 10 and you only want to do 5-6 designs a month. Yeah, it's probably expensive. So it depends on how you want to do it. Now, are they gonna be as beautiful as you were paying a designer to make something unique? No, they're not. There's limited what you can do, but to me, it fills my slot. And sometimes I get sales out of them. So it increases my opportunities to sell something. The opportunity cost is there. I make a lot more than the $30 it cost me a month for me to have it. So there's people that all they do is just make merch. I think it's a great tool.
Cool. Okay. And what would you say to someone who's at the tier 10 or tier 25 right now? What would be the strategy for them right now? What would you say to them?
I would say if you can find a good selling shirt that is going to be good for Christmas, upload it. If you don't feel confident, look for Evergreen. Evergreen sells very well in Q4. I mean, you don't have to focus on, on Christmas. There's a lot of moms, the parents, grandparents looking for presents, for the kids or, siblings or whatever, but they don't really necessarily want to spend money on a Santa Claus shirt. They probably want to buy a unicorn shirt. They probably want to buy a pony or, or a funny cat because she's a crazy cat lady and she wants to buy her a nice cat shirt. So it doesn't have to be holiday specific. I mean, all those will sell. What I tell people is, right now, if you're designing, make sure that your design is going to work well on lights and in dark colors. You have to plan for those because black ran out very, very fast last year. And it's a huge mistake I made that most of my designs were good on black, but they were not good on lights. And by the time they froze the accounts, we couldn't correct absolutely nothing. And I lost a lot of opportunity because people who had designs on, on those baby blues and those silvers and those whites, they were racking money because they were the only ones that had, and people needed gifts. They needed them. So they were selling. I mean, they're not going to sell as hot as the black ones, probably. But when it comes to that time, you will be surprised where people tend to buy something that even though they don't feel is their the one that they like the most, but they will buy it. Now, if they return it later on in the month, and because now Amazon has it, you already sold it. Amazon is going to pay you the royalty, regardless. So they probably want to put that shirt on sale, for all the people to grab it on sale, but they're going to pay you double royalty. So it's not a bad deal either.
Interesting. So you're learning from last year's whole blackout freeze with the shirts. And do you create one design that works both on black and white, or you're creating one design for the black and dark shirts and one design for the lighter shirts, two designs?
I usually ask, if it's one shirt that works only on black, I usually ask my designer to give it to me with a white outline, for example, or a black outline, for example. So if I give him with a black outline, I can now use it on a white shirt. And for him, it's a fix that it was going to take him like 30 seconds. He doesn't really charge me. He sends me 2 PNGs, and it's a very easy fix, and not every single shirt is going to work nice with that outline, but let's say if I get, 100 shirts, probably 40 of them are going to work well in black and white because, a little tweak is going to be enough for me to have it, in different. So now I can create, even in the same listing, sometimes I can create that because if it has a black outline and I put it in a black shirt, you won't see the black outline. But if it's in the white shirt, you're going to see the black outline. So I can create the same listing. Sometimes when it's too obvious, I will create a listing for all darks and a listing for all lights. And there are shirts that I have 4 different listings. I have them in Ambil darks, Ambil lights, and then Bella darks and Bella lights. It makes sense to me, and sometimes they sell.
Interesting. Cool. I didn't actually think about that. Thinking about how they could run out. I remember they ran out and I was like, oh, come on, Amazon. How could you do that?
They're running out. I mean, you're seeing some trolling right now going on, right? I mean, there's I think Heather Gray right now, it's out.
So, oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
I mean, today I've been selling a lot of oranges and some baby blues I've been selling today. There are no typical colors to sell, but they sell, right?
Yeah, and when people are on there and let's say, there's no blacks and there's no Heather Gray, they're just going to choose whatever is available because people are in crunch time. People get desperate during this time and they need to get gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about you said that your new obsession is Etsy. What is going on with that?
I think it's everybody's new obsession. I mean, I used to use Printful, you know, with my Shopify store. I mean, Printful have a great customer service to me. I mean, it was always good. The problem with Printful is it was too expensive for doing an automation with Amazon and doing an automation with Shopify, because with Shopify you have to run ads.
Yeah.
So the ads were eating the profits. You had to sell a shirt, you know, for example, in Shopify that you were selling on Amazon for $16.99, you had to sell it for $24.99, and sometimes the market was not there after spending money on, you know, and shipping and handling, Facebook ads, all the stuff. You're making $2-3 for a product that had your own money behind and that could be returned tomorrow. It was a huge risk. So when Etsy came and they say we have the integration with Printful, it's like, you know, salivation all over, right? You have a great tool that is now integrating directly to one of the top 3 platforms to sell print-on-demand products. Etsy is saying we are accepting this partnership because Etsy was saying always that they wanted us to be the artistic and the production company for the product. Now they're saying, yeah, we can accept the Printful as your supplier. So everything aligned, you know, in a good place. And Etsy has the, you know, the reputation of people tending to pay more than they will pay on Amazon. You know, and the proof is that I have a shirt that is selling literally right now for $16.99 on Amazon, and it's selling for $24 on Etsy with no problem. And I'm clearing after shipping and handling and all the stuff about $8. So
$8 per shirt profit.
Yeah, and that's people, because I decided to use a better quality shirt. There's people who are cleaning $13 per shirt at selling at $24 because they're using the low quality envelope. The same one we have for merch by Amazon. They're using that one as well on Etsy, and I decided I wanted to use more premium quality to try to avoid, you know, returns. And so far I haven't had any, knock on wood, but I mean the opportunities are there. You know, a lot of people are always saying we want to sell hoodies, right, on merch. And Etsy I have hoodies. In Etsy I have, you know, I have baby onesies, and Etsy I have long sleeves. I mean, literally to create a listing, if you have, I mean, I don't know if you have heard of Jacob Bates, but he came out with a tool that it's a Chrome application where if you create your list, you optimize your title, you know, with the 140 words, I think is the maximum, 120 words, I think is the maximum. You have them all completely optimized. You click this button in your Chrome extension, and it creates every single tag for your Etsy listing, and you can literally create a listing in 2 minutes. So then you just push it to Etsy and it's live. And a lot of people were saying that, you know, that creating a listing, the tags were the most painful portion of the part. I mean, I can literally create 30 listings an hour, or probably
on the Etsy platform.
I can actually create listings on Etsy faster than I can create on Merch by Amazon.
That's interesting, because I thought merch was like one of the easiest ways to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I can literally create that. But at the same time, Etsy is 20 cents per listing. So it can add very, very, very fast. I mean, because you have the ease to create, you know, 500 listings today, you know, it's going to be, it's not bad. I mean, the listing is 3 months. And it's 20 cents per listing, so it's going to be about 100. You have 500 listings, it's going to be $100. Now, the problem with Etsy is that people want to see you as someone who is not just spamming, somebody who's creating quality. So you don't want to bring all these crappy designs that you have emerged by Amazon, put them there, because it's going to lower your quality. Now you're doing brand. You know, you are more concerned with customer service. You're concerned with quality. So you have to do. Now you are actually running your brand. And it's no, you don't go and say, okay, my brand is ABC, you know, cat. No, that's not it. Your brand is your brand, and it has customer service. You have feedback, you know, you have everything. So now every shirt you create, You want to make sure, that it's aligned with your company motto. It's not a good idea now to have an I love Clinton and I love Trump kind of shirt, because it creates conflict with your customers. It's like, okay, are you a liberal or are you a conservative? What are you? And they're like, I don't trust these people. They only want my money. They don't have ethics. So you have to start thinking a lot of what the brand is. You cannot just go and say, okay, I am pro-life and I am pro-choice. No. You are one or the other. Your customers want to connect with you. Your customers, because now you have emails in Etsy. The people give you their emails, and you have an email list that you can retarget these people over and over. So you sold somebody a pro-choice shirt, and tomorrow you're creating an email campaign, and you're not saying, hey, I have this pro-life shirt. Guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna have probably 100 unsubscribes, and you're just gonna get a lot of people upset. So it's a lot of things you have to think in consideration. Is this going to be a great opportunity for Q4? Yes, it's gonna be huge.
So when you make a sale, does that get fulfilled automatically, or you need to go and like drop ship it?
No, it's so easy. I mean, when you create a listing with the Printful, it's there. Now Printful has already my credit card account, and I get an order. I get the cha-ching in my phone. You get it, and literally I have to do absolutely nothing about it. Printful is gonna get the order. They're gonna deduct the money from at this situation that they withdraw the money from my PayPal account, and they send it to production. And when it's in production, it's there. They even tell the customer it's gonna take about 6 to 8 days to ship or something like that, and everybody's fine. People in Etsy are more used to having immediate satisfaction. They know that it's gonna take a little while.
Okay.
So. And once they are ready to ship, and the Printful keeps you informed on every step of the process, like we're now doing, it's printed, now it's boxed, now it's in quality control. And I mean, you can track everything about the product. When it's being reviewed, and they said, okay, quality control failed, we are reprinting again. So it tells you, that gives you comfort that that this company is actually taking good care of the product they're shipping. They're reviewing it and stuff like that. And when they ship, they send the tracking information to the customer for you, and literally, I don't have to do absolutely nothing. So it's kind of a merch kind of deal, but it's my money. So.
And then your do they give you the profits that day, or it comes at every 2 weeks or something?
Well, right now you can have it set up for daily payouts on Etsy, but Etsy takes about. When you're starting, I think they hold it for like 3 days or something like that.
Okay.
But you can have daily payouts once you get to some thing. I don't really know, because I have it set up for weekly payouts, more for accounting purposes. I don't want to have daily payouts and having to do an entry every single day on my QuickBooks. It will be too much pain. So I have it on a weekly, and they deposit on your checking account. So up to date deposit takes about 2 more days. So worst case, let's say you have a 2-day payout from Etsy, 3-day payout from Etsy, and they deposit in your checking account. So you have to have cash flow for 5 days. You have to make sure that you have enough credit in your credit card or your checking account or whatever you're using to satisfy at least 5 days of sales. Because let's say today you sell 100 shirts on Etsy, and that's going to be around $1,800.
Yeah.
So make sure you have you have $1,800 in your checking account. Otherwise, yeah,
what will happen? Like, it will freeze, or it'll cancel all the other orders?
No, it won't freeze. Etsy, because Printful is not going to produce them, and then you gotta wait until you have the cash and then pay him. I mean, you could wait, but it's going to be really, really, really late. So, I mean, you can actually tell Printful, okay, I don't want you to do automatic processing in case you want to be able to use a lot more than one credit card. You can tell them. I mean, right now we're still early in Q4, so I have no problem with cash flow in that way. So I just let them take it. But probably when we come to December, probably I will probably, and also I want to review. And probably I will also freeze it, because I want to make sure that every single order can be delivered on time before the 24th. As we go near, Etsy production can start changing drastically, and you may not be able to fulfill on time. So you want to make sure that you can tell your customer before you even pay, Printful, hey, this is not going to make it for the 24th. Do you want to cancel or whatever? Last year, Printful was telling people very well, say, you know what, we are not going to take any order after this date. And it was around December 15, something like that last year. So it's considered as well.
Crazy. All right, we got a question here. So do you think that additional profit on Etsy is worth the extra time involved? Because on Etsy, you have to deal directly with customers, return, etc., whereas on merch, you don't.
Let's put it this way. I am a firm believer of having multiple income streams. And I even teach people about that. But I am not a believer of having all my eggs in one basket. For me, merch by Amazon, the reason I am not higher tier is because to me, merch by Amazon is not what I put all my eggs first. I invest my time, I put my product in there, but I know that tomorrow I could make a mistake and I lose my account and it's gone. So that's why I am in so many different, print-on-demand platforms. I even have my own brand on Amazon FB, in Amazon Merchant Fulfill, which I have an integration for that. I have way over 10,000 products right now, print-on-demand products on my Amazon account. And for me, it's having everything in a part, and if you ask me, is this worth the time? Well, it depends on you. What is your goal? I mean, my goal is to have full, complete, I have a full-time income doing this. It's what I do for a living. I mean, I don't have a 9-to-5 anymore. So I have to have many sources of income to guarantee that if one of these fail, the other one is going to cover, my necessities, and at the same time keep growing. I mean, because you are not in business used to be, not growing. Even if you only have 20, 30, 50 shirts on Etsy, I mean, it could be worth it. It could add. A lot of people say, well, I don't want to be in this platform because it's only giving me $200 a month. Well, you have the time, and you get one of these that give you 200, one of these that give you 400, one of these that give you 100. And when you realize and you're making $2,000 on merch by Amazon, and you put all these other 5, 6, 7, 8, and they're making an extra $2,000 by getting the 100 here, the 50 there, the 200 there, now you probably have a full-time income. Now you can probably say, wow, okay, I can probably quit my job because now I have all these income streams. And if they shut one, I still have a good chance of, having those. So I'm always looking for the next platform where I'm going to put something. I already have the designs. I already have the raw material. All I need is the time to upload. And, and as you get better at this, you start looking for ways to do it faster. And you get better at knowing what to put on each platform. Like, for example, I'm going to put, an ugly text design. I wouldn't do it in Redbubble or, in that people, like, I know it's not going to sell, so why waste 3 minutes of my time uploading some shirt there? It's just not logical anymore, but it comes with experience.
Cool. Okay, we got another question here. Do you guys have any thoughts on today's upload glitch? Appears to be no limits on tier 500 plus. What do you guys think about this?
Not the first time that happens, actually. It has happened before. Actually, about 2 months ago, I was able to upload about twice as many as I was allowed to.
And they all went through, like approved and stuff?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I today haven't done my uploads, but I've been hearing other people say, and actually after this interview, I'm gonna go and try. But yes, I mean, if it's going through it, hey, take advantage. All of them got approved. I think the last one didn't, but it went to on hold or whatever you called it, and next day it went through. So, but it didn't kill my next day quota limit, and it's happened a good couple of times. It's not the first time.
Interesting.
Actually, if you do it like sometimes like you have like more than one screen open when you upload, like for example, when I upload the same design in different deals, I tend to upload them in 2-3 different screens at the same time, because what I do is I copy paste all my my titles and my keywords and all on all my variations. And sometimes I get to add like 2 or 3 more than the maximum quota because the Amazon doesn't register that upload, right? Because I click next, save. And sometimes I'm able to kind of cheat and I can get like 2 or 3 more.
Interesting.
But not always.
Other than merch and Etsy, are you using any other platforms?
I am on Redbubble. I'm on TeePublic. I am on Amazon. I use an integration called Rapid Creators. I have. I'm trying. I was trying this. What's the name of this woman's? It's a one for it's only for women, and I've been trying it. I just go and upload. I don't remember the name. I'll tell you right now.
All right.
It's
while you're looking that up, we've got a question here. Do either of you have niche stores on Etsy? Me, I'm not on Etsy. I've been thinking about it. Like our team has been thinking about it. We haven't done it yet. What about you, Fernando?
Yes, I have it on Customized Girl. It's the name of the website, Customized Girl,
oh,
and
Customized Girl.
I have it on Intel as well, because Intel is the same as the Printful, and I already have all my designs in the Printful, so I just push them to Intel. No, I don't have a niche store in Etsy. I only have my store. I don't have. I mean, probably next year I will do it. But if I do, I want to do it with an integration that is probably has more variety than Printful. Probably an integration that is going to allow me to do combos. I always suggest people, when you are in, for example, in Etsy, that you don't have to do every single one through the integration with Printful, because you can create an order with Printful from outside the integration, but you can create some combos, like the mommy and me type of combos. The onesie and the t-shirt kind of deal for Christmas may sell really well, or so create a nice mock-up, with a nice onesie and nice shirt, put them together, and you may be able to make some sales like that. It makes it look more native to the platform as well, other than just the typical mock-up that comes, like the ones from Merch by Amazon that are really cheap, white background, kind of shirt hanging in the air. Try to do some mock-ups with them, trying to play with that. And so right now I'm still testing a lot of stuff before I even go niching, but at some point, most likely, yes, I will do some of that.
Interesting. And another question here, which products do you find are best selling? Shirts, mugs, phone cases, etc.?
Well, shirts are selling better because it's what I uploaded the most. But I'm having good luck with the baby one pieces. Those are selling well. Kids shirts are selling well as well. I haven't done a lot of hoodies. And the reason I haven't done hoodies is because the shipping and handling is really high. They sell well, but
can't you price them higher though, because they're hoodies?
Yes. I price everything for me to make at least 80% profit is what I probably would price that, and it's gonna sell. But the thing is, I have to also think about returns and stuff like that. So when you have a hoodie, it could cost me even anywhere from $8 to $12 to ship. It's very very heavy. It's gonna be it's over a pound, so it's going to be priority mail kind of deal, or FedEx kind of stuff. So it's gonna cost me a good chunk of money to ship, and if they get returned, I could lose a lot of money in those deals. So my hoodies, I have them, but I only have a very selected design that I think would do good on those. But I haven't really gone heavy. I haven't tried yet tank tops because with the season, I don't think they're gonna be right now top sellers. So I haven't really tried tank tops. I haven't had any luck with phone cases. Our designs, I've noticed that the ones we use for Merch by Amazon do not work very well on phone cases, mostly because people who tend to buy phone cases are more looking for full sublimation kind of deal. And our designs are not full sublimation, so I will have to design whole different stuff used for those. And honestly, I really haven't found the time or the desire. I have friends who have told me that they have gone through the full sublimation for dresses and yoga pants, and that they're having great success because a dress is selling for $60, $70. Some of them are selling for $80. You're cleaning about $30 per dress, but it requires a whole different set of design. Now it's full sublimation kind of deal.
So full sublimation is when the design covers the entire product, correct?
The entire product, yes.
Okay. And how does that work in terms of design? Like how did that work?
The Printful has the templates already for you. You can grab them. Now, the dresses are probably a little simpler, I would say.
Question mark?
The yoga pants. As a man, I find it very difficult to design because I have to take in consideration the curves of the woman. Okay, right. For both the yoga pants and the yoga pants. For the yoga pants and the dresses. A lot of people tend to make mistakes that some bad portion of the design it's in the parts where it shouldn't be. So people tend, you don't notice that when you design it, because the mock-up looks good, but when they get printed, they land in the wrong areas, and then you get a bunch of returns, because they look grotesque, or they look, or they don't, make a woman look good. So I think it's something that you have to be a lot more experienced, to create those kind of type of designs, or go very, very, very simple. But I'm told is that they sell really well, but you have to know how to do it.
Crazy. All right, got another question here. Other than merch, is there another way to upload to Amazon that doesn't cost money up front?
Not that I know of. I think somebody has an extension, but there is no API right now to connect to Merch by Amazon. So there is no real tool that will do it. I have no idea why Merch hasn't released any API. Like, for example, and when we go to Amazon FBA, we can create listings outside, with using Inventory Lab or Scan Power. We can create any type of listings we want. But for Merch by Amazon, unless they release API, I doubt it's going to be anything. I mean, there could be some auto fillers, Chrome extensions that could probably fill the blanks. You have an Excel spreadsheet, and I think there's a couple of those that already do it. You can create listings rather fast if you make the time to create the templates outside, like in a spreadsheet. But no, there's nothing. There's impossible right now.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, where can people find you if they want to get in contact with you, ask you more questions? I believe you have a course that you want to talk about, so let us know about that.
Yes, well, if you want to find me, Fernando Sustaita, it's it's my Facebook. Feel free to add me if you want to. I have a group that is called Mastering Print on Demand. It's a Facebook group. It's still a small group. I just started it probably a month or so ago. And then I have the course. A lot of people probably know me from, I started, my influencing, I will say that, kind of deal, as an administrator for the Amazon Custom Group with Chris Green. Sadly, there's no real interest for Amazon Custom. So I have been helping a lot of people, in private groups and stuff like that, that decided, you know what, I'm going to create a course. And the course is Mastering Print on Demand. It's not necessarily Merch by Amazon. I cover a lot of Merch by Amazon in the course, of course. And the difference between my course is that it's, besides the point that it's, covers every single different type of print on demand. Literally, I go from about 8 different pods. I cover integrations. I cover Etsy. I cover, a lot of different pods. I also have about 24 different interviews with top people in the industry. You are even in the course, and actually you have probably the one where you speak about how you hire on Upwork.
Yeah,
it's one of the best reviewed, videos on my course. So what I do is I interview people that were that are respected in that specific area of the industry. And then, it's an interview, and then it's one that is only about my point of view. So what I like to give people is different perspectives of how people see the business. I don't want people to see the business only the way I see it, because whatever works for me may not work for you. For example, I don't believe when you go in Facebook groups and people telling you that you are leaving money at the table because you're not charging your shirt for $19.99. And I call that BS, because first of all, they have no idea what you have for sale. They have no idea in what niche you are. They have no idea what the competition you have. And you probably are an excellent designer. You're probably selling for $24.99, and you're probably thinking, this person is leaving money at the table at $60.99 because I can sell it for $24.99. No, probably not, because probably you are in a niche that nobody else is doing. And I'm probably in the niche of Santa Claus, right? Where there are thousands of t-shirts and I'm competing against a market. So I tell people, you decide where your price is, where you feel comfortable. Now you tell me that at $17.99, you're leaving money on the table, but not selling at $18.99. Okay, who's gonna tell me that at $18.99 I'm gonna sell more shirts than at $17.99? Probably I will sell at $18.99 5 a month, and probably at $17.99 I'm gonna sell 10 a month. So I lost $5. Not really, right? I actually made $10 more by selling cheap. So I tell people, start thinking about the situation. So we cover a lot of different interviews with people that are very set on their minds on in some areas, and then I said, okay, but you can also think about it in this other way. So it's a compare contrast kind of deal. And we have a private Facebook group where I go live at least twice a week, and it's like today that we talk about my ideas for Q4, stuff like that. I'm always there throwing every single thing that comes to my mind. I'm always throwing the information to them. And every single tool that I come, and I always tell them, hey, this is the new pod I'm testing. And I share with them what I'm doing. And, and sometimes you tell me I fail miserably at this pod, or sometimes tell them, I really suggest that you go on this spot as well. And I tell them the whys, and I tell them why not. For example, Cafe Press, I tell them it's a very good pod, but I think we're late. It's too crowded now. It's too complicated now to get it done. I think there are better opportunities right now to Cafe Press. Probably Cafe Press was great 3 years ago, and everybody who was in Cafe Press 3 years ago are still going to do good today, but they are, like right now, the merged by Amazon people that are right now at tier 10,000, they're way ahead of you if you are only at tier 25, and that's something to consider.
Do you think that's going to happen to merch? That there's going to be a point where it's like, it's too late, it's too crazy, there's too many designs, too many people. You think that'll happen?
I don't think today, no. We know who these are coming. They're coming at some point later this year or early next. And I think merch hasn't even touched the tip of the iceberg yet. There's so many products they could add. Like right now, you're in tier 10,000. Tomorrow, you're in tier 500 and they give you hoodies. Now you have 1,000 products because they give you 500 more products, and they give you, mugs, and they give you, tank tops, and then they give you long sleeves, and then they give you cell phone cases, and then they give you every single thing under model they can sell. I'm sorry, but the ones that today have the advantage there, they have the designs already up, but we don't know how it's going to work. It's still long way to go.
Crazy. So your course, who is it good for? Who is this targeted for?
Well, it's more targeted for people who are starting, because it's starting or in the mid-level. Now, it doesn't mean that if you are experienced, you won't take advantage of it, because, like, for example, when you go to a convention, you probably go and say, I'm an experienced person, and just listening to one or two of the speakers out of the 10 that were speaking, and you got some angles of what they do, it can change your mentality about how you to run your own business, right? Sometimes we go to convention and, okay, if I take one takeaway, it's worth the investment, right? Same thing here. You can be an experienced person, and just by listening to these 22 interviews, could get you a whole different perspective of how to run your business. And then this 24 interviews, then it has 50 videos where I go solo and talk about a whole different strategies that I do. I talk about Amazon. I'm including a section right now on ClickFunnels and how you can actually scale on ClickFunnels. So I mean, I'm always adding stuff. So you can be an expert on merch by Amazon, but if you're not an expert in all the other platforms, it could actually benefit you as well.
And what are some other platforms that you talk about in there?
I talk about Fanprint. I talk about Sunfrog, which I sell on both. I talk about, of course, Redbubble, Teespring. I mean,
you have the Etsy. Do you talk about Etsy?
Etsy's being added. It's being added right now. I'm still looking for a lot of legalities in Etsy. For example, can I add? I haven't found an answer for. Can I add links to the listing? A lot of people says people do it, but I haven't found. So I'm waiting for Etsy to give me an
links to what, like
you have a listing on Etsy and you want to put a link, like for example, this is a shirt for a woman, and you can say you can find the children's at this link, and you can find the babies at this link.
So, like other Etsy links within.
Okay. So those are things that I'm still waiting, and I don't want to give wrong information. I mean, even though I'm liable for what I give, so I don't want to. I always believe that that is my responsibility to give the information that it's been analyzed before I even share it. For example, today I want to be interviewing Mike Gall, which is the guy who has been doing local merch sales and making a lot of money by going to local businesses. He's going to be added to the course, as a new section of the course. And so, I mean, it's always growing.
Okay. I mean, and we got another. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I finished.
Okay. We got a question here. Where can they check out this course? Where can they find the course? We're going to have a link here in the description of this video, so you guys can check that out. It has all the information, right, Fernando, about what's in the course, who's in it. I'm also in it. I did a guest interview.
I
have this too. And then I also did an in-depth tutorial video on how we got our Upwork designers for $3 a piece. I don't know, there aren't many other people who get their designs at $3. We've always only paid $3, and we get good quality designs. So I explained that in the tutorial.
That video is great. I mean, I used to do kind of what she did, but actually I learned how to do it better by following her step. I mean, just to give you an idea, she interviews her designers, and that was that. But it's not only about interviewing. I mean, I'm gonna give away because she's in there, but just the questions she asked and the connection she was looking for gave me a whole different perspective on how I should look at hiring a designer. And that's what I mean about this course, that I didn't want people to only get my side of the business, because it's not going to help you at all. So I wanted to give all these other people involved. And we have some very big names in there. We have Austin Giuliano. We have JP Sears. We have Michael Blair, which is one of the top sellers on Shopify. So we have a lot of people that are actually multi-million-dollar sellers, makers in that course, giving their opinions about the print on demand industry.
Cool. Any last words for people who are frustrated, it's not working, they're not getting sales? Because I get comments like this on my tutorial videos, on my update videos all the time. And I always say my point of view on that. And I like to get other people's point of view. What would you say to people having a hard time trying to make it work right now?
I think, for me, the moment that I decided that this was a business and that it had nothing to do with me trying to understand it, it was the time that my business took off. And let me explain that a little bit. I was making my designs. I was making, what I thought people wanted. And I realized that we have 360 million people living in the United States today, that I am never going to understand this market, that I have to treat it as a business, that I have to see what other people are doing, and I have to make it better. And I have to get designers that actually know what they're doing. The day I decided to set myself apart from that portion of the business, this portion of the business that was the attachment to what I was doing, and actually you started looking at this as a business, is the day I started making money. The day I was, I cannot believe people know buying this design. I cannot believe it was so awesome. I mean, look at these. You know, I have, for example, I have a go-kart. You know, this I love go-karts. I had a beautiful go-kart design. It took me 2 hours to do my Wacom, and I didn't sell absolutely none. I listed it 3 times, and you know, and it never sold because I realized that it had a phrase in the bottom that people didn't care about. They like once I removed that little phrase, it began selling. So remove yourself from the attachment of what you're doing and start thinking, you know, this as a business. When you ask for advice, listen to the advice. So many people tend to ask for advice and they ignore it until they hear what they want to hear. If you go looking for advice, trying to get the answer you want, stop asking for advice and keep lying to yourself on your own. You're only wasting your time. If you know, and you see this all the time. Can I do this? Can I use Coca-Cola on a shirt? And 100 people say no. And one guy says yes. And the poster always says, oh my God, I knew I could do it. And then a month later, I got banned from Amazon. Like, aren't you the one who asked about Coca-Cola last month? I said, yeah. And I followed the advice. No. You follow what you wanted to hear. Same thing happens, you know, in every single scenario. If you want advice, go with open heart and open mind, and you're gonna get the best advice you want. If you want to hear what you want, stop it. Stop asking. Keep fooling yourself. This is an easy business. Today, you remove yourself from, you know, from the emotion of the business, you're gonna start making a lot of sales. That's my point.
Wow. Thank you so much for that advice. Thank you so much for being here on the Merch by Amazon interviews that I have on Mondays. We really appreciate it. Lots of golden nuggets, you guys. Like, Fernando's a really great guy. He gives a lot of value all the time. So feel free to reach out to him and check out his course. The link is in the description below. All right, guys. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. So yeah, we're going to end it off here. If you have any more questions, you can put them down in the regular comment section and I'll forward them over to Fernando if you have any questions directly for him. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
And thank you for your time.